Rogan, right back.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chair. I first would like to just begin by accepting the author's amendments, which are listed on pages 12 and 13 of the analysis.
All right, thank you. We'll take those as author's amendments.
All right, thank you very much. So this afternoon I'm presenting Senate Bill 95. Excuse me just a moment. Hundreds of consumers have been left holding the bag as a result of unpaid car loans and service agreements and warranties that are not being honored. And this is partly as a result of hundreds of car dealerships that are going out of business in the state of California. About a quarter of all car buyers are vulnerable to this problem because they still owe money at the time they trade in their vehicles, usually at the time when they are purchasing a new vehicle. Senate Bill 95 addresses this problem by requiring a car dealership to pay off a lien prior to selling or trading a used vehicle. The dealer must submit evidence to the DMV to prove that the entire balance has been paid under this legislation. In addition, the bill increases a dealer bond from $50,000 to $100,000 and expands violations that allow consumers to access the bond to include fraud and statutory and contractual violations only associated with the lease or purchase of the vehicle. Senate Bill 95 also gives consumers a higher priority to access the bond. I've met with the opposition personally, and my staff has as well several times, to work through the details of this measure, because I do believe a majority of dealerships do the right thing and pay off the liens within 72 hours. As a result, several amendments have been taken to address the concerns that have been voiced by the car dealers. One is eliminating changes to the new Motor Vehicle Board Consumer Mediation Program, reducing the bond increase, which originally in the bill was for $250,000 back to $100,000, narrowing the scope of the violation to access the bond, and removing a provision to allow the corporate veil to be pierced. Unfortunately, the DMV has seen a sharp increase in the number of cases where these car liens are not being paid off. And in fact, there's over 400 open cases right now with the DMV. The country's economic crisis is not an excuse to defraud innocent consumers. And after buying a home, after all, a car is the next largest purchase any individual may make in their lifetime. Failing to pay off the title results in ruined credit ratings, repossession of vehicles, and even loss of jobs sometimes due to the lack of transportation, and sadly, in some cases, even bankruptcy. I have several witnesses with me here this afternoon, witnesses who actually have been victimized by this process, here to testify in support of SB 95. But before I call on them, I did want to just be more than obvious about the amendments that have been taken, because I think it's very important as legislators that we all know what the truth and the facts about a particular bill are. And the reason I point these out is because, unfortunately, and I'm not finding it in my notes, there has been a flyer that has been circulated by the car dealers showing what the bill does. And there are several items on that particular brochure that are no longer the case because of the amendments that have been taken, and some that weren't the case in the first place. So if anyone has a copy of this flyer that was passed out by the car dealers, please know that several of the items that are listed are no longer true. In particular, as I already mentioned, the bill has been amended to take out the reference to the new Motor Vehicle Board process, and also the dealer bond is no longer $250,000, it's $100,000. That was specifically taken at the request of the dealers because of their concern of the cost. So we take that into consideration. And I did want to make sure that people know that advocates for the bond
And what
industry.
did you say was the first change that the amendments took that were in this flyer that,
The new motor vehicle board reference that the mediation program
Yes.
would be eliminated. It is not eliminated. It will still be law, so that amendment was to amend that reference out of the bill. The bond cost was the major one, that the dealer bond would be $100,000 for all dealers, not $250,000. And also there's a reference that would sort of make you believe that people in the bond industry are opposed to this measure, which is not the case. And also it also references the piercing of the corporate veil, which has been amended out of the bill. So I just want to make that very clear. So with that, I have several witnesses to speak in
all right,
support of
which
the bill.
one do you want to have go first, Senator?
You want to go first, Rosemary?
Okay, thank you, Senator.
All right, give us your name and your organization if there is one, and you've got about 3 minutes.
Okay, thank you, Vice Chairman Harmon, members. I'm Rosemary Shahan, President of Consumers for Auto Reliability and Safety, and we're the sponsors of SB 95. And we're very grateful to Senator Corbett for her leadership in offering this bill to improve protection for California car buyers, especially car buyers who are buying used cars. It's a very challenging market that we face. We really need consumers to have confidence that when they go to a licensed dealer and trade in a vehicle, and about a quarter of car buyers have negative equity, when they go purchase their next car, they owe more than the car is worth. So they're vulnerable to the practices that this bill would address. And the bill would help not only consumers who are trading in vehicles with negative equity, but also consumers who are purchasing those vehicles. Because a lot of times what happens is the dealers, as they go under, start engaging in what we call car kiting, where they're basically selling cars out of trust. They're undercapitalized. They are selling cars where they don't have proper title to them. They're promising to pay off the lien, and then they don't. And if this happens to you and you happen to purchase one of these vehicles, trusting that the dealer is going to follow through with all the paperwork and you'll get title to the car, very often you don't get title to the car. So this has been a problem for a long time. It's now gotten extremely worse than it's ever been before. And we need to create an environment where consumers know if you go trade in a car, the loan will be paid off in a timely way. If you buy a car from a dealer, that you're not going to wake up one morning and find out that even though you've made every payment in full and on time, that the lender for the former owner has repossessed your car. And suddenly you have no way to get to work. And the bill would also raise the dealer bond from $50,000 to $100,000. My organization sponsored the Romero bill in 2002 that raised the bond from $50,000, from $10,000, where it had been since 1989, to $50,000. And at the time, the dealer said the sky would fall. The sky didn't fall. And we believe, based on information from surety companies and others, that any dealer that has good credit and a good record should be able to obtain a bond of $100,000. And we think that's just minimum protection for consumers. And the bill would also specify that consumers come second in line, which would help a lot more consumers be able to recover against the bond. And so please, we would urge your aye vote for the bill.
Thank you very much. Next speaker, please. Yes, sir.
Good afternoon. My name is Mark Anderson. I'm an attorney in San Francisco, and the reason I'm here is as part of my practice, I represent consumers who get caught up in the situations that are addressed by this bill. One thing to keep in mind is that a lot of the car dealers that go out of business, or going out of business, are used car dealers that sell to people with poor credit, low income, poor credit, that kind of thing. And so when people, and some of my people I represent end up with 2 car payments, they trade in a car, the dealer doesn't pay off the loan company comes after them, and they've got a loan on the car they bought to replace the trade-in, they are really devastated. I mean, for a lot of these people, another $350 a month on a payment is just devastating to their budget.